Hare Krishna. And I've got to think about it. Govardhan, yeah, just my thanks. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvasesha Sunyavari Paskachade Satarani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Go Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so what this is a our governing body commission, which was established by Srila Prabhupada for running ISKCON, and their senior most devotees, experienced managers, powerful preachers from around the world, and we meet annually. I'm the oddity in the group, but somehow or other I slipped in there. And we meet annually in Mayapur. Prabhupada established this at our world headquarters. We meet in Mayapur. And Prabhupada said our purpose is to resolve issues. If you figure we've got what? Close to 1,000 temples now. Hundreds and thousands of, well, probably up to about, let's say, not hundreds of thousands, a congregation in the millions around the world. And then you've got, the devotees, staff. Of course, we're all volunteers and prabhus and matajis and running the temples. That's probably at least, I don't know how many devotees, initiated devotees. So, we're talking, it's a big operation. And I heard Srila Prabhupada say, personally, I heard him say it, spiritual movement in the material world, difficult proposal. It's not easy, So we have to expect that there'll be problems. Ramaswar told me that he asked Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, we're serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and sometimes there's difficulties. What is that? And Prabhupada chuckled. Prabhupada said, this whole material world is difficult. The proof of Krishna's mercy is that we're able to accomplish anything at all. That things are going on is proof of Krishna's mercy. So, it's not an easy thing. And there will be difficulties. So we meet once a year to sort out all the things that couldn't be sorted out locally during the year. We also talk about philosophical issues. Quite often there will be the discussion that's brewing amongst the devotees, and we'll take some time and deeply discuss that. We also have a midterm strategic planning meeting. That's usually where we plan where we want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and deal with philosophical issues. So the Mayapur is mostly sorting out, who's not getting along with who and what's this and that, There's that side of it. But also we have a number of ministries. We have our farm ministry, we have our communications ministry, we have our Grihasta ministry, we have our fund development ministry. We have our youth ministry. There's so many different ministries, a women's ministry. And they make their reports. So there's that. And I think that gives you a flavor of So there isn't time to show all of that stuff. But I just selected a few. And someone can get the lights. We've already lost your video. Somebody can get the lights. Okay. I thought, geez, my voice is so monotonous that I put the man to sleep. Okay, now, we don't want to see this. We want to see, show the one that's Bhaktivedanta Institute first. Should say BI. Let's show that first. This was started by Srila Prabhupada. And I'll just give you an example just for fun. One of our good friends, he's passed away, and one of the heroes of our movement is Sariputta Prabhu. And Sariputta Prabhu had a double PhD, one in statistics and the other in theoretical physics. He was the smartest man materially I had ever met. He was just, couldn't fill out a rental application. I had to help him do that. But he could meet with professors at UCSD and just, impersonalists, atheists, and just mop the floor with them. I saw him give a talk at Caltech, which was just stunning. So Prabhupada sent out a letter. Sariputta, I think he was teaching at Cornell at the time, gave it all up and moved into the temple. And he moved to New Vrindavan. And Kaladri Prabhu, who was the president of New Vrindavan at the time, told him he was the worst farmer. In the morning after breakfast, they'd, everybody assemble there, and then they did different work details, who's going to be hauling in wood, who's going to be painting, who's going to be, pulling wheel. What are you going to be doing today on the farm? And nobody wanted Sariputta on their team, Bhakti Richard, on their crew, because he would, in our parlance, he was space out. So one day, Kaladri gave me an example. He was on the crew that was digging fence post holes. Can you imagine such an intellect? And they've got him out there digging fence because nobody knew. And nobody, what are we going to do with him anyway? And Sariputta, dig the hole, pitch the dirt, and then he'd just be lost in internal reverie. He was calculating the speed of the dirt, and the trajectory, and the effect of gravity, and, who knows where he went, Hey, back to Rich, back to the hole. Oh, okay, sorry, Prabhu. He was very humble about it, So Prabhupada sent out a letter. And Prabhupada, because he wanted to start the Bhaktivedanta Institute, he wanted to take principles and premises from the Vedic literature and prove them. Prove that the Vedas are not just sentiment or fantasy or wishful thinking, but are accurate science. And the fifth canto, whoa! The design of and structure of the universe. Talk about a mind blower. Through the rabbit hole. And Prabhupada said, no, it's completely accurate, and I want you guys to prove it. So that's the origins of the Bhaktivedanta Institute. So Prabhupada sent out a letter to be read by all temple presidents to the devotees. Is there anyone out there with a master's or PhD in a hard science? Math, whatever it is, a hard sciences. Chemistry, so many things. And so when Kaladri, he said, right, I'm reading this at New Vrindavan, they all got, they can barely keep their dhotis on, or they're farmers, and okay, but Prabhupada said do it. And so he asked anyone out here with a PhD or a master's degree in one of the hard sciences. Sariputta raised his hand. Said, I got a double PhD, what can I do? And Kalari said, well, that explains a lot, you know. So Prabhupada assembled these saintly persons and started the Bhaktivedanta Institute. Now, it's broken into a number of branches. There's Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj with his PhD in chemistry, teaching at UCI, was the head of the thing. So this is Bhaktivedanta Institute based in Gainesville. Now, there is some friction between the different Bhaktivedanta institutes. Munis always have to argue with each other. And Dhruta Karma, he's connected with the Bhaktivedanta Institute, Gainesville. And I remember, because one idea is, you know, Sariputa's preaching, Dhruta Karma's preaching, it's too heavy. You know, it's challenging everybody and rocking the boat. You know, let us just go easy and make friends and get to know them and have, you know, conferences, stuff and pull up prasadam, and then we'll be able to preach to them. Dhruta Karma said, we have to decide, are we in the Sankirtan party or the Tea Party? I heard him say Tea Party in Mayapur. So are we in the Sankirtan party or the Tea Party? I'm sitting in Mayapur 10 feet from him. He may have said that also. I'm not discounting it. But I know what he said in Mayapur to the GBC. So we had to make a choice. So we're funding both and everything's going on like that. So this is the Bhaktivedanta Institute in Gainesville. And it's under Brahmatirtha Prabhu. You know, perfect questions, perfect answers. It's Brahmatirtha Prabhu. And it is, they are doing cutting-edge work in the realm of consciousness. You know, are we just brain function? But if you can prove, and it's turning. It used to be like nobody, and now it's about 10% of the AI people. And that's a significant slice. Some of the MIT, some of the University of Chicago are beginning to think that consciousness is an irreducible element, a fact of matter. Like you've got the, what is it called? The chart of, what is that called? Periodic chart. It's got all the different elements, you know? And they're the composites of matter. And they're supposed to be elements that can not be further reduced. You've got the force strength, yeah, all that stuff that can't be, they're basic tattvas or truths of matter, of existence. So what if consciousness is not generated by electrical impulse and pluses and minuses like a sophisticated computer? We can talk about that some other time. But what if it's actually an irreducible fact? Well, that really rocks the whole boat, because then you can start talking about the individual self as an eternal entity. And that, I mean, you can just, from there, so many dominoes fall. So they are particularly focused on the consciousness. And Akhandadi Prabhu, who used to be the temple president in Bhaktivedanta Manor, that's a whole other, he's a real hero, saved the manor by a campaign. But this is the group there. I think this is the original BI. I don't have my glasses on. And they're not long distance. How do I not blind somebody? Where's the Govardhan? Be my brain. All righty, what did you push? Okay, I think this is Sariputta, but I don't have my glasses on. So just, how do we keep it not locked on? How do we go it on when I push it? So what do I push to turn it on?
Push it down.
Push it down. This?
Yeah. No, no. Sorry. This
Oh, this thing. Ah, you know, these things are harsha soka. There we go. Okay, now I know what to do. It's actually slide. Okay, so next. So Foundation of Bhaktivedanta Institute, I already explained this. This is an early shot. This is Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. Everybody looks so young. I think this is Brahmatirtha. And anyway, let's go next. This is Priyananda Maharaj's family inheritance. He used a portion of that. This is right on the campus of Florida State. Go Gators. 40,000 students in Gainesville where Prabhupada spoke. This used to be the university president's house. It's registered in the Florida Historical Record or whatever this, and somehow or other the devotees bought it. And they've completely renovated. It's in very nice condition. And that's the Bhaktivedanta Institute's headquarters and library, right on the Gainesville campus. Next. So these are their subject groups that they're studying. Modern and Vedic cosmology. They are the ones who cracked how do we present the cosmos, the fifth canto, because Prabhupada wanted the fifth canto presented in the temple of the Vedic planetarium to prove that the fifth canto of the Bhagavatam is accurate. So how do you take the description in the fifth canto and they've designed it in such a way. These folks get any prasadam?
I'm about to get some.
Thanks. The Prabhupada said that we need to design a model of the universe, a 3D model of the universe that explains, it's the Vedic presentation, but it has to be able to explain eclipses and all the stuff that happens out there in the cosmos. You know, what the astrophysicists and what are the other guys that are the cosmologists, what they're seeing and getting wrong. We talked about that briefly the other day. Okay, how do you do it? So that's modern and Vedic cosmology, mind, brain, and consciousness studies, which is very far out. We'll show you some of those. Biology and evolution, and this is they're designing the displays for the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. It's called the MOVP, which means Museum of Vedic Planetarium. People are going to come from around the world. They're already inquiring about this thing. It's one of the largest Vishnu temples. I think Angkor Wat is bigger, but it's one of the largest, Vaishnav Hindu temples in the world, and people are coming from around the world to see it. And so we know that Prabhupada wanted displays in there making the Vedic presentation. So we'll get into that. Next. So this is the team. You can see Brahmatirtha Prabhu, a great hero. Akandadi, I said, from the UK. What's interesting is, you would think that the most of the faces would be Indian, which is fine, no problem. The Indian, BI is all Indian. But it's nice to see Western scholars also. These are all Western faces. And this guy, where is he? Where's our cosmologist? This one, this lady, where's my button? I'm afraid I'm going to blind somebody. She teaches at Caltech. You know how good you have to be to teach at Caltech? So, and the other guy, where's our cosmologist? Physics. Is it this guy? Which says physics? No, this guy. What does that say? Yeah, this Garrett Hari, he's got a PhD and was teaching at Yale. Or I don't know, it was Yale or Princeton or, these are top drawer people. Some of them were Cooley graduates, some of them became devotees, whatever. Next. So these are just their different places they're connected with. or have affiliations. University of Virginia, they do near-death experiences. Stanford, you can just see for yourself. 7 institutes, 47 associations, 16 conferences. This is all last year. 14 publications, all in 1 year. This is their report. This is what we did with your money and the money that we raised 2023. Because Prabhupada said they should get whatever they need from the Bhakti, from the BBT. So when you distribute books, a percentage of that profit goes to support the BI. Next, grants and loans. No, I don't think we give loans. So this is a joint conference they did with IIT. IIT is like, MIT, Caltech, like that. It's top drawer. Next. And what does it say? Go back. What was that on? What does it say? Okay, we'll go forward because we're running out of time here. Next. So this is the science of consciousness, whatever it is, 2020. It's coming up. Here's the speakers. Top-down consciousness, and that life generates life, not matter doesn't generate. Life generates matter. Matter doesn't generate life. And it's online. You can get these things. You can watch it online. So, when the next one's coming up. Okay, next. So these are sampling of some of their publications. This one is particularly far out, and I've got a copy coming to me. Is this the right thing? What does this say? The Shabda make production irrelevant. In other words, okay, does what we can see and smell and taste, what sensory evidence, do you just disregard that based solely on Shabda? Or do you disregard Shabda? And it's all based on Jiva Goswami's teachings from the Tat Sandarbha and all kinds of modern stuff. And who is the author? Our hero, Radhika Ramana. That is going to be a far-out book. Okay, next. So these are things they publish. You can get examples of them. Vision for the future. Training the next generation of ISKCON teachers and leaders. Research for the Museum of the Vedic Planetarium. And we have a whole section on that. Presents a unique opportunity for us to create a rich repository of educational material. Next. So how can the GBC support the BI? Send us your scientists and philosophers. And we've hooked up our friend here. What's wrong with my brain? No, sitting right there in front of us. I got a brain freeze. He's got a master's in chemistry. Huh? Yeah, Birachandra Prabhu. So I apologize. My brain froze. So Birachandra Prabhu, I've got to talk to you about that. But, that's what we're doing. We're meeting nice, intelligent young people on the campuses. Tell them, hey, go into archaeology. We want to send you to Sri Rangam and investigate the seventh wall, which is, they've carbon dated it back, whatever it is, 12,000 years. People are supposed to be scratching around in caves or in the Bronze Age. I don't know what was 12,000 years ago. So there it is. Next. And there it is. So you can contact Bob Cohen is Brahmatirtha. Okay, so that's that one. Now, can somebody just go like a wind? Because we don't have that much time. What is the next one? Vaishya is, I think we can do that all of itself. Let's do the MOTVP, the Museum of the Vedic Plan. Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah, I think we're only going to have that time to do those. So we'll have to do this next, we'll carry on next Sunday. Okay, we're ready? Where's the next one? Okay, you need the lights? Okay, let's go. Okay, so the Science Museum, that's what the S is. Science Museum of the Vedic Planetarium. And of course, this is the TOVP. We've got some update on the TOVP. I think we'll have time to squeeze in today. This is I think this is the Jalangi. It's a branch of the Ganga. Okay, next. So what's the purpose? Next. Religion, and this is Prabhupada's statement, religion without philosophical basis, without scientific basis, is sentiment. And sentiment breeds into fanaticism. Prabhupada said all we have to do is look at the, what was it called? The Inquisition? You know, is it, who had to recant? Who was our guy? You know, starts with the D, not Darwin. Copernicus. Yeah, Copernicus had to recant, isn't it? Galileo. Galileo was the one who, you know, if you didn't recant that, you know, how the cosmos are moving, we're going to roast you at the stake. So fanaticism without, you know, religion without philosophical basis, without scientific basis, is sentiment. And Prabhupada said it often becomes fanaticism. And that religion based on philosophy and science, that is right. Okay, next. That's the purpose of the museum. Dynamic relationship with the BI team. Yeah, you know, you've got the people that are building the, you know, but how to design all the museum and the displays. And you'll see where they're going to go later on. Next. So here's the team. Brahmatirtha. Okay, you already saw them. Next. And you know who is one of, next. One of the heroes, who is was one of the best managers and has surfaced after a difficult patch in his life, is Ramaswar. Ramaswar Prabhu is the one coordinating it. You know, he's got the design team that are actually going to fabricate the things. He's got the science museum. What's the content going to be in the museums, and you know, and what's the, and he's coordinating all. He's doing a very good job. It's really nice. So exhibit content proposal completed. That's what they finished today. I mean, finished last year. This is this. There it is. So they've got all the displays. All okay. What's the content going to be? And I think there's something like up to 100 different displays in exhibits. Some are walk through. One of them it takes your face and can change it into, or takes a picture of your body and can morph you into all different types of entities, you know, 8,400,000 species, you know, and they have a primitive version at the temple in Delhi at their Gita Museum, and they found that after the display, they've got to have a few benches, because people's minds are so blown, they got to sit down for a minute before they can go through the rest of the place. So it's that kind of, all kinds of experiential, and you'll see. Next. So museum design ideas and layouts for the museum design company. And they've already put out bids to different companies. But these are the kind of things. This is a clock of time, explaining Vedic time. And you will walk through it. I mean, it's just fantastic. Next. So who will be coming to the museum? This is, okay, who's their target audience? Who are they designing for? Next. You've got skimmers, swimmers, and divers. You know, different levels of depth. You're going to have people, you know, you're going to have professors in astrophysics showing up. And you're going to have, you know, the simple villagers. You're going to have, you know, devotees, rank and file devotees. So you're going to have all kinds of different, you know, levels. So you've got to design exhibits. You know, it's not easy work. Next. And where will they be coming from? They'll be coming from all over. We already have inquiries from all these different places. Next. They've got to plan the visitor's journey. Well, you know, what information do you put in first? What experience then builds on the next and builds on the next, and how do you do it? So here's the different kinds of displays in addition to the walkthroughs. Next. So visitors, content, and themes. How can I know? You're telling me this. I hear so many things. Is it all blind faith? How do I know what I know? On what basis? And, you know, we were just mentioning there's different types of evidence, you know, Vedic evidence. You know, Shabda Brahman is the best. And, you know, but there's also sensory perception. There's what you hear from others. There's accumulated knowledge. There's all kinds of sources of knowledge. So how do I even know what I know? Is it just blind faith or what? Who am I? What is life? Are we just stuff? Where am I? You know, what's going on here? And where do I belong? You see the progression? Just what is the basis of anything in my head? How do I know what I know? And then, okay, once I have a basis for knowing, who am I? You know, is the seer the seen in the act of seeing? What's going on here? And what's life? Is it just stuff? Is there a soul? You know, is there a life after this? Or just, you know, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you'll drop dead. Make me fertilizer. And where am I? What is this place? And ultimately, where do I actually belong? Far out string of questions, each building on the other. Next. And those are the themes we want when they, like a conveyor belt. When they walk in the door, they're a blank slate. Or they've got all kinds of misconceptions. And we want them to weave their way through the museum. The last thing will be a beautiful book shop, you know, media shop. And when they walk out the door with a Bhagavatam set under their arms, they're prepped. And their conceptions are blown right out of the water. And we can do that. So here's, how can I know? The ascending and descending knowledge, the Vedas, Parampara, modern context. So there will all be displays about that. I could explain each of these, but we don't have time. Next. Then who am I? Understanding consciousness. The brain is not the source. What is the Atma, or the self? Spiritual identity, reincarnation. All of that. See the guy on the top? This is how the thing started. This is how he actually looks. And this is step one as they gradually morph his face through, you know, demigod, animal in the forest, the whole thing. You know, just to shake him up. Okay, and those are different, you got the idea. That'll be a set of displays. Who am I? Next. What's life? The Atma in all bodies. Life comes from life. Issues with evolution theory. Below that, you know, the theory of the rocks. That's where Druta Karma, you know, grabs him by the neck for the war party. How life appears on earth, karma and samsara. So there'll be a whole set of displays they go through. Next. And the displays are designed, you know, there'll always be tinkering and improving, but they already got them out for bid. Where am I? This is what, you know, the unseen, the unseen universe, purpose of the Vrata Rupa. It's hard for me to see. Correlation with modern science, which is extremely important. Chandelier model. I think I have another picture of the chandelier. We'll talk about that in a minute. Cosmic origins and Mahavishnu and the multiverse. I tell you, they're going to have to wear seatbelts going through this thing. It's going to blow their mind. Next. And visitor journey content themes. That way, where do I belong? Okay, once you figure all that stuff out, well, hang on a minute. I'm eternal spirit soul. This is a creation. It flows and rests upon something else. What is it? What's the spiritual world? Where am I supposed to be? What's the purpose of life? Is it to muck around here, rotting in this world? Or maybe there's another dimension. There's a spiritual world. Maybe that's where I'm supposed to be. So you can just see the different... Somebody can read those categories. I can't read them on the right-hand side. Just read... Can I read somebody? You all crippled? What is it? What does that say on the right-hand side? Read the text.
The inverted tree.
Okay.
Krishna, the absolute truth.
Okay.
Relations and rasas.
Yep.
Krishna and the material world.
Yep.
Entering the spiritual sky.
Thank you very much. Sorry to be heavy. I didn't get much sleep last night. Govardhan snores. That's not true. I'm joking. But those are the examples of the types of displays and where it will take people through. So they want, because Prabhupada said, you should take them from the material world. With the idea with that chandelier that shows the structure of all the planets, from the hellish planets all the way to the Deva Loka, to the Shiva Loka, the Vaikuntha, and the Krishna Loka. We should take them from the lowest position all the way through to the sojourn of the soul, pilgrimage, like Brihad Bhagavatamrita. We should take them all the way through to Krishna's lotus feet, and not just Vaikuntha, but we should take them to Krishna Loka Vrindavan. That's our mission. And the TOVP and these devotees are actually accomplishing it. It's a wonderful thing. It's amazing. Next. I think we're almost done. Next. Okay, timelines. Next. Oh, you can see all that next. It's the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. I don't buy this, just between you and me, because the dates shift. It's supposed to open 2006. It's not going to be ready by 2006. But it might be 2008. That's not so, it's a variance of a couple years at the most. And so the displays need to be ready when the temple opens. So that's, they want to, what is the world? They want to converge on the same timeline. Next. Because the TOVP is practically finished. It's just a matter of cash flow. As money comes in, they can finish up all the other displays and things. And you'll see that in this clip that we'll show you. Okay, that's it. That's the Museum of the Vedic Planetarium. And I think we can squeeze in one more. Let's show bright spots. So we'll show this. Prabhupada says, I think it comes from Chanakya Pandit, but if you can understand the nature of a pot of rice, if you're cooking rice, you test one grain, and that'll give you an understanding of the whole pot, right? You understand the analogy? So we don't have time to show all the wonderful, it's like the ocean of milk, what's coming out of ISKCON. ISKCON devotees around the world are doing mind-blowing things. And we don't have time, in the past I've done whole presentations on that, but I just picked, I think there's just 2 in here, just to give you a sample of some of the blissful things that are going on. Okay, so, oh, you know what? I'm sorry to ask you, but if you could run, maybe I don't want to show this, or maybe I want to show this for next time, because I want to show you something else. Do we have one on the TOVP, don't we? Just the TOVP?
We have TOVP status. I'll show them Bhagavan's video.
Yeah, so let's forget this. Sorry about that. We'll show this some other time. Well, we'll show this next Sunday. So let's save this, because I promised the devotees I would. Let's show them that TOVP status, and we'll show them the opening of the Nrsinga wing, and we'll be done. That'll time it just right. Okay, let me know when you're ready. So this is the status of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. And the central deities, of course, will be the Panchatattva, and then Radha Madhava on one side, and then Lord Nrsingadev. So this, you see these 3 domes. This is the Nrsinga wing. This is the Vedic Planetarium. There actually will be, what do they call those? The 3D, what do they call? They have the one up in Balboa Park, where you can show 3D movies. What are those things called? Are they called planetariums?
Where they show it on the roof?
Yeah, they show it on the dome and it's immersive. What do they call those things? It's called, okay. So they're already working. Yadubar Prabhu and the whole crew. Whole lot of second generation, super smart people, devotees. So this side will be the planetarium, and with all the museums and exhibits and displays, that's that side. This side is Lord Nrsingadev. And this side, and that's, by the way, that is not a computer generated. That's how it looks right now. All these pictures I'm going to show you are not computer generations. They're how the building looks, you know, as of March 2024. And then, of course, this will be the Panchatattva, the main big Kirtan hall and temple room. Okay, next. Yeah, and Radhamadava. Yeah. Next. So these are their early days, just to show you how Mayapur started. This is the original. I mean, look at that. It's just we remember this scene when in the next few pictures. But this is the Lotus building. This is the first building. The temple room was on the ground floor, and all of this is the was guest house. And was it 73? Were you there, Ashramar? I mean, it was Dravida. All of us began going within a few years.
I do 75.
Yep. So I went in 73, and this building was unfinished. And we slept in a construction site. And the temple room was downstairs. This is where Prabhupada stayed on the property. This is a straw hut. Tamal Krishnamaj told me this. They drove out with the first deities, not our big Radha Madhava now. They were brass deities, Ashtatattva, 8 metal, and they drove out in a little ambassador car, and this is the only building on the property, and the roof leaked on one half. So Prabhupada put the deities on the half that didn't leak. And he and Tamal Krishnamaj stayed on the half that leaked. I mean, I imagine they fixed it within a few days. And Tamal Krishnamaj, just for fun, he told me that he was sleeping, you know, you know the size of the thing, cut it in half, and Prabhupada and Tamal Krishnamaj on one side, and Radha Madhava on the other side. And when they woke up, Prabhupada said to Tamal, "You snore." Prabhupada said, "I don't," and Tamal said, "I don't snore." Prabhupada said, "How do you know? You were asleep," which is a good point. You know? So it all flows from this and the desire of the previous acharyas, from this empty rice field. Prabhupada speaks in Gainesville, where the Bhaktivedanta Institute is, and Prabhupada visited, and he starts his address by saying, "I am speaking to you in this remote corner of the world, far from the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Now you would think West Bengal, 3.5 hours north of Calcutta, in the rice and mango and banana fields, this is remote. But the previous acharyas and Srila Prabhupada and the Devas, they see a whole different world. The birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Dham Mayapur, that is the center of the cosmos. So Prabhupada can see like that. And so that I just wanted to share that. Next. And Prabhupada calls it, just go back for a moment. Prabhupada named it Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, which means the rising moon, like, you know, Gaur Chandra, you know, the moon of Mahaprabhu, and it's rising, you know, from in the West Bengal, and you can see, here it's just peeking over the horizon. Next. So this is how it looks now. Next. This is a side view. Oh no, this is the front. There's going to be, it's not finished. This is going to have a beautiful clock. You know, one of those, like those German or Swiss clocks that's got the marching band and the bears. It's got all this stuff that happens. So it's going to have all the different cosmos moving out in the time and where the sun is. It's going to have all kinds of far out stuff in this big, because that's quite a big space. It's probably about 16 feet across, or maybe even 20. Okay, next. This is the Ganga, Mother Ganga, and this is the museum. This is the Samadhi. Have I got that right? Yeah. This is a Deva's view. Next. And this is a, Prabhupada's vision was a city with 50, Vedic city should not be bigger than 50,000 people. You get more than 50,000 people living in a city, and it's like rats stacked on top of each other. That's how it should be. But, and it's all being laid out now by Vastu principles. How you lay out, everything's got it, so it's got order and pattern and design and flow. Like you can you can design a building. Fatehpur Sikri, built by Akbar, is designed like this. It's hot in India, hot season. But you can design to catch the prevailing wind, and you design it with thick walls and wide, but like the Conch building and the Lotus have those wide verandas. Prabhupada said that's Rajasthani style. That way the exterior wall heats up, and then the veranda with a marble floor cools the air, and then the core of the building where you're actually living and working, that's cool. There's a way of doing it. So it's a simple example, but if you design a city according to Vastu, it catches the subtle energies and raises the place to the mode of goodness. It's just, the way you do it, angle it. So that's fun to see. And you can see it becoming, it's growing. It's the whole thing. Just keep in mind that picture of the one building, what to speak of the straw hut in a rice field. Next. This is a side view of the next. So the Panchatattva will be at the central altar, and next to them, under that main dome, this is the right question, under that main dome will be Radha Madhava. Next. So this is that rotating chandelier, which is being fabricated as we speak. It starts off with a lower planetary, 14 systems, 7 down, 7 up, and it goes all the way through, all the way to Brahmaloka. It goes all the way to what is next? Then you've got Shiva Dham, and then you've got Hari Dham, Vaikuntha, and all the way to Radha and Krishna. So this thing will move, it rotates, and it also can predict accurately, of course, eclipses and all kinds of different cosmic effect. And that was no easy thing, let me tell you. So it's taken whatever it is, 40 years since Prabhupada asked for it to figure it out. So it's a sojourn of the soul through the cosmos, and it's in sync with visible phenomena. And it'll be supported by, of course, all the other displays and exhibits. And this, of course, they've moved beyond this picture. But this is the altars. The Guru Parampara will be on this side, showing all the previous acharyas all the way to Burma. And this will be the Panchatattva, excuse me, and this will be Radha Madhava. And Lord Nrsinga's temple is separate. Prabhupada said he's a little fiery. He should have his own temple. Next. And that's it. Here's the Mother Ganga. This is during the daytime. This is the Ganga. This is the Samadhi. This, of course, is the TOVP. Those of you who know Mayapur, this is the Lotus building right here. Yeah, that's the Lotus. That's, so it just gives you an idea of this. This is all the power generator and everything here. But this gives you an idea of them. Those of you, this is a 4-story building, the Lotus, the Conch building, with the Lotus across from it. It just gives you a sample how big this thing is. And what's the beauty of this temple? Ambarish, of course, this would have never, ever happened. Not only with his money, but with his intelligence, his drive, his organizational skills. Ambarish is a real, Alfred Ford, Ambarish is a real hero. And his wife, that's another thing. She designed Prabhupada's Vyasasana is stunning. with the last of the blue marble mined in Brazil. I mean, and she designed it. And she's great. She's a really nice, Swati, right? Swaha. I'm sorry, Swaha. Sorry about that. So, okay, we could say so much. But my point is, the money for this temple, I mean, it's at $40 million plus. And I don't know, and it's going to be at least $5 million minimum to finish all the displays and exhibits. And then you've got to do all the landscaping and parks. I mean, you know, but the devotees from around the world have built this. One of the largest donors to the TOVP is the North American BBT. Larger than all the other BBTs, including the Indian BBT. Over the last 10 years, the North American BBT has given over $10 million to the TOVP. And as book distribution increases, it increases. We used to say, and it's true, every book is a brick from Mayapur. So the book distributors, you are building this because a percentage of the profit goes into the construction fund, and we've been putting all of the construction fund money. It's one of the decisions who gets money for what, how do we divide that up? It's one of the things we decide at the annual meeting. But you're building this. When you distribute books, you are building this. It's a wonderful thing. It's Prabhupada's formula, Okay, that's it. Now, let's show Nrsimha, the opening of the Nrsimha wing. Because we're a little over time, but I think it's only 7 minutes total. And then the other things we'll show next Sunday, so we'll finish up next Sunday. And I've saved a few nectar tidbits for that too, don't worry. There is a household couple. Now, I may not have this by next Sunday. There's a householder couple. They were part of the glitterati of the, Mumbai movie scene, Bollywood. They were a young couple, young, up and coming, big director, this and that. So house on Marine Drive, the whole thing, right? He's become a devotee, a very nice devotee. And what has he done as his first project, now that he's Krishna conscious? He's making a top drawer Disney standard animation movie about Prahlad and Nrsimha. And he showed us, he had a short promo. You were there, Govardhan. Yeah, Govardhan will assert. And it's a mind blower. It's like one of those, Steven Spielberg, hold on to your seat, Lord Nrsimha, they've coming out of the column. And it's going to be a full-length feature movie of that quality animation. It'll go all over the world, no question about it. But it will just rock India. But he can't release the promo because he's negotiating now. I was trying to get a copy of it, but they haven't released it because they're negotiating all the, what do you call those, licensing and sales deals and all that stuff, But he was there, offered full dandavats to Srila Prabhupada. He's just like a Prabhu, he and his wife. So this is here we go, right? Everybody ready? Yeah, let's roll.
you all so very much for supporting this project and delivering this dream to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada.
Lord Nrsimhadev is coming. Lord Nrsimhadev is coming. And Lord Nrsimhadev is coming. Garjantam garjayantam nijabhujapatalam shopayantam adantam dipyantam tapayantam divi bhuviditam shepayantam shipantam krandantam roshayantam dishi dishi sadatam samharantam barantam vikshantam purnayantam karanikara sathair divya simham namami. This is Lord Nrsimhadev. He will be roaring today when we open this wing, protecting all of us so that the Sankirtan movement can be spread in every town and village.
And we are once again so very grateful that you come, not only supported us through everything, but come to celebrate this wonderful moment in history. So thank you very much. Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai
Told you it'd be worth it. All glory to the Lord Nrsingadev. So that's it. That's it for now. And we should mention Bhavananda. Bhavananda Prabhu is the one who was the head designer of the whole thing, you know. And he should get some credit for this. Okay. So next Sunday we'll finish up. Say again? He built the Samadhi. Well, there are no devotees. The BBT donated. Devotees donated. He was the lion's share. Can you give this back to Dravida? Thank you for saving the day once again, Dravida Prabhu. And you are part of this. We are members of ISKCON. We're helping build this. It's something wonderful, you know, with our lives.
Is it open?
The TOVP is open. The Sringadev wing is now open.
Let's go!
You can visit. You have your service in Hawaii. By your surrender to your service, you will understand and relish it more. You can't just buy a ticket and walk in. You know, buy a stockpile of service. Then you can relish, and Krishna will enliven you within the heart. It's not a material phenomena.